Let's help you get faster at Gran Turismo 7. Hi there, Dead-Eye Delboy here, back with another video, and in this one we're going to look at the updated fastest settings that you can use on Gran Turismo 7 for 2024. Previously we had a video of the fastest settings, but that was for 2023 and a whole year has elapsed since then, and there are some changes, and those changes could be crucial to you. Now, before we get into it, I just want to say a big thank you to everybody who's subscribed to the channel recently. We're now over 8,000 subscribers, and that is well on its way to the 10,000 subscriber dream. And if you want to help us get there and you haven't subscribed to the channel, then please do so. Consider hitting that button. It is free, it is painless, and it would mean a great deal to me. But enough of all that. That's not what you're here for. You're here to get faster at Gran Turismo 7. Okay, let's jump straight into assist settings, and the first one we have up is the transmission. You've got manual or automatic. Now, I know a lot of people out there will favour automatic gears, however, if you can, use manual because it is undoubtedly the fastest way to get round the track. It gives you an added control that automatic gears just doesn't give you. You can use the brakes to slow the car down using engine braking, and it can give you extra control because it can help you rotate the car into a corner, get that nose in, get onto the apex, and equally when exiting the corner, sometimes cars do not like first and second gear with acceleration and you will lose the car, you will spin out. This can help you because a lot of cars need a quick double shift up, maybe into third gear, and off you go smoothly using the torque of the car to get out the corner and down the straight. Next up, we've got traction control, and for me this has definitely changed over the last year. I used to be traction control on 0, it was a non-negotiable. Now I've been experimenting and I actually enjoy playing with traction control on 1. Now, not every car is traction control on 1. For instance, Group 4 cars don't use traction control because they're very difficult to spin out anyway, so that just tends to slow you down a little bit. However, I've compared a lot of laps with traction control on 1, specifically using Group 2 and Group 3 cars, and I have found the difference in speed is negligible for me round the track, and it also gives me a lot more security, a lot more stability. When I've got my heavy right foot really planting down, it does save me a lot of times on exits of corners because I used to spin out a lot and it would leave me low on confidence with certain cars. But with traction control on 1, it's really been a game changer. So test it out, mix it up with the traction control, have a look at your lap times, do a bit of comparison for yourself. But for me, that's a big change. Next up, we've got ABS, and as you can see, I've actually got it on weak at the moment. However, I do toggle between default and weak, and that is because there are cars out there which perform better with weak ABS. There was an example of this recently. There was a daily race, it was Group 2 at Deep Forest, and the Mercedes CLK was the quickest car, and it performed better with weak ABS. Now, that might be down to the huge stopping power that that car had. It almost felt like the default ABS stopped the car almost too violently and didn't give you that smooth entry and exit out of the corners. So putting it onto weak ABS actually helped this, and people were finding it was faster. Now, I then tried out Group 3 cars round Suzuka between default and weak ABS, and there was no difference to me in lap times between the two. Actually, weak ABS sometimes felt better depending on the car I was testing out. So I'm not saying it is better, but I'm saying have a play with it. Don't rule out weak ABS because previously it was a non-negotiable. As I said, it had to be default. Weak is actually an option. Next up, auto drive. Nothing's changed here. We don't want any help with brake or brake and steering. That's not really the aim of the game, if you ask me, and it certainly won't give you the complete control that you need to be faster. Driving lane assistance, again, not something for me, but if you've not learned a track before and you want to get a bit of extra help, then by all means use it. It's not going to necessarily slow you down, although if you can learn a track without the aid of any assistances like this, then I believe you will be faster. Next up, braking indicator. Again, that's an absolute optional. This will not make you faster or slower, it will just be a personal preference. There are World Tour drivers who drive at the World Tour finals using the braking indicator, so if that's the way you want to play the game, by all means, play it with it on. Similarly with the braking area assist, again, on or off, it doesn't make you faster or slower. It can actually help you if you're not that sure about where to begin braking when you're coming into a braking zone. But for me, it just takes away a little bit of the realism from the game because there's a huge red box appearing before you start to brake, and that for me just takes visually something away from the beautiful aesthetics of Gran Turismo 7. Replace car after leaving track, self-explanatory. That's not going to make a difference to whether you're faster or slower, because if you've left the track, you're clearly going to be slower than somebody who hasn't left the track. So my advice here is keep the car on the track. Now, the final two assists are active stability management and counter steering assistance. Active stability management will help prevent your car from spinning out. Counter steering assistance will help correct oversteer. So if you're having difficulty keeping the car on track and you want an extra bit of help, then these can help you. Now, some people frown upon these and don't believe they should be usable in daily races, for instance. I'm not one of those. I believe in use whatever you want if it helps you have fun playing the game. I've seen some of the fastest drivers in daily races using counter steering assistance, for instance, and it does not slow them down. In fact, it helps them, especially when cars make side-to-side contact. Now, that's not the green light to stick these assists on and get out there and start ramming people, but these do help the car stay on the track, and I've seen people use these to help them avoid going off the track if they're being hit. So they can have a benefit from that point of view. Whether or not they make you faster or slower, I don't know. I would suggest it's a user preference. Test them out, see what you think, and you might find it's maybe going to give you a little bit more confidence in the car, which could make you faster. So that brings us to the end of the video. Hopefully you've found it helpful, insightful. It's maybe given you a little bit of food for thought. If you've enjoyed it, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, try and help us achieve that 10,000 subscriber goal, and I'll see you all on the next one.